Okay, so welcome everybody to the September 3rd Shanghai Life Coaching Collective webinar. What you see in front of your screen, it says Coaching Workshop Webinar. And I'll explain to you in a little bit why this is more than this webinar. It's really a coaching workshop, meaning that we're going to be doing a lot of good work, teaching and learning, and hopefully answering and asking a lot of questions in this session. My name is Colin Thompson. I am one of the leads and founders of the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective, and I want to once again welcome everybody to the Coaching Workshop webinar. So we have a very brief but detailed agenda for today. We're going to first start out with a brief overview of who we are. The Shanghai Life Coaching Collective, who are we? What do we do? What is our main purpose and mission? Well, they're going to get into the real, what I call the meat and potatoes of the workshop. We're going to have three coaches today who are going to share with us their experiences. First, Coach Jody Hu will talk to us about how to remain focused during a coaching session. I think most coaches have blanked out during a coaching session, and instead of panicking, what can we do to regain focus and really ensure we're giving the client the value that they want and need during that coaching session? We're going to have Coach Elise Li, who will talk to us about the adequate client-coach relationship. And I'm looking very forward to this because she talked about using some very not holistic, but very real coaching techniques. So I look forward to hearing that. And then I'll be talking to you guys about how to identify and penetrate your target market. You know, what we try to do here, we always try to have a little bit of opportunities to learn on how to improve our skill set doing coaching. We also try to make sure we have how to improve your skill set on the business side. So I think tonight, Coach Jody and Coach Elise will be speaking more on the actual coaching side, and I'll wrap up speaking more on the business side. Then we have a new agenda item. We're going to have a very brief Shanghai Life Coaching Collective member spotlight. We always want to promote our members. This month or this webinar, we'll be looking at a brief view of a book written by one of our very own coaches, Coach Ivana Pazek. And we'll talk about her book and how you can obtain that book at the end also. And then we'll finally wrap up with how to contact the coaches and how to really learn more about the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective and contact information. Let's see. So who are we? So we are a group of coaches here originally in Shanghai. However, we are all over China. And if possible, we would love to have a collective of coaches that represent the world. We are here to teach, support, and learn from each other. Again, we're here to teach each other how to improve our abilities to bring value to our clients and how to run a coaching business. We're also here to support each other. One of the best ways to really, I think, try out new things as a coach is to try it out with other coaches who are more experienced, because they can do what? They can give you feedback and help you sort of learn things and improve your way a little faster. And finally, we're here to learn from each other. I think when we talk about what is a collective is a group of people who have a common theme. And for us, that's life coaching. How can we really teach, support, and learn from each other? Now, in our collective, our member coaches are aspiring, new, or experienced life coaches. This means we have people in our collective who have never coached a single client, who have never really taken a coaching practice lesson. And that's fine, because they are in the right place to meet coaches to learn how to get from where they are, having questions, wondering where to go, to actually knowing where to go and having somebody who's been there before. We have new coaches who have recently graduated from their programs and are now trying to understand, I have this skill, how do I now get clients? And of course, we have experienced coaches who have sort of been here and done that. They've been here and done that, and now they want to turn around and help our aspiring and new life coaching. Now, a few things that all of the coaches in our collective have in common. They are very, very eager to support other life coaches. They're very, very eager to learn from other life coaches and they actively promote life coaching. I'll be the first one to tell you, I always ask the coaches in the collective questions so I can improve my skill. If they need any support, we always give support. So again, aspiring, new, and experienced life coaches who are eager to support, learn, and promote life coaching. As I mentioned earlier, we have two areas of focus, the business side and the coaching side. I think most of us are a little more confident with our coaching ability, right? How to develop the skills to bring value to clients. One area we sometimes don't focus on is how to really build a business that consistently obtains clients. So in our collective, we look at both of these equally, how to coach and how to actually maintain a coaching business. Okay, so we're now going to go into the first speaker, Coach Jody. Before that, we do have some background noise, so if you don't mind, please go on mute. And if you want to ask a question, please come off of mute. So let me introduce Coach Jody. So Coach Jody Hu is a local coach here in Shanghai. She is a part of a co-active coaching team. They are right now going through their certifying process. She has been a very progressive and active member of the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective. Now I'll let Jody go ahead and take control and go from here. You're on, Jody.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hello, everyone, and thanks to Colin for inviting me to share my coaching experience in this webinar. I'm not sure if I can control the screen here. So Colin is helping me.
Okay.
Colin, that's what you did, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll get you to help me. Who am I? I'm actually from Taiwan, and I finished my college degree in the United States. So my first job is IT project manager in the United States. And then I move on to work in the HR field in Shanghai, Beijing, and in Zhejiang province. And my recent job is an operations director in a training company. So that's my work experience. And I started my coaching journey in this March this year from collective coaching class. And I found myself really enjoy coaching. I like helping people, building connection with people in a deeper level. So in the beginning, because I really enjoy the collective coaching class and I really enjoy the coaching sessions. So I would say I did very well and people perceive me as a good coach. So I enjoyed it so much. So gradually, I think I want to be a professional coach. So gradually, I raised my standard on myself. And after I raised, Colin, can you move to the next page?
Yes.
Okay. So after I gradually raised my standards that I want to not just amateur, just for fun. I want to do something. I want to do this for a professional at a professional level. And then I found myself encounter those moments that I suddenly don't know what to say. And the client stopped saying, and I stopped saying, and I don't know what to do. I don't remember what the client say, or I don't know what to say next. So at that moment, my feeling was, I picked those 3 pictures. So my feeling was very much like the magical head. I got so many questions in my head and I don't know what to do. Or I turn into a blank moment like the picture on the left. I don't know what to say either. Or I try to be an angel, but I also stopped there. So I think I invited some people from my coaching community. So I promised them that I will use some Chinese. So if it's okay, I will share something in Chinese. 所以我刚刚在分享我的故事，就是我刚开始的时候其实没有想过要做一个 professional coach， 但是后来我慢慢觉得 collective 我很喜欢，然后慢慢开始。 觉得我做 coaching 的时候可以跟别人有更深层的连接，然后我的客户也觉得我帮助他们很大，所以我开始想要往专业发展之后呢，我就开始发现我把自己的标准提高之后，我反而开始会有一些时候是突然不知道要说什么，所以就我的情绪有一点像这3张图片，就是突然像左边这张我突然不知道要说什么，或者右边这张我有很多问题，或者像中间这张我希望我是一个 angel， 我希望我是一个帮助别人的人。So these are some of my feelings when I encounter those blank moments. So I'll continue. Colin, can you move on to the next page? So those are my emotions. So at that time, I felt I need some help. And at that time, I decided I need to hire a coach for myself. Yes. So I'm glad I did. 所以在那个时候，我决定我要找一个教练，我需要一个教练来帮助我，而且我觉得我做的是一个正确的决定。And my coach helped me enhance my self-awareness. And I realized that I had those concepts or assumptions in my head. 所以就像这个屏幕上面讲的，我的教练帮助我去觉察到，其实当时我的标准提高之后 I care about how my clients look at me, look at this coaching session, or if I'm not being liked by my client. 如果我的客户不喜欢我，或者觉得这一次 session 做得不好，我突然变得非常的在意。或者是我 maybe the last time I asked the same question and I hear an aha, but this time I don't hear it. 所以我上次问一样的问题，我的客户的反应特别好啊，他有很多的觉察，但是这一次他没有觉察，所以我就突然之间变得整个注意力放在我自己的身上。So all the attention became, I put all the attention on me instead of my coach. So my coach helped me realize these, I had these assumptions.所以当我发现我有这些想法在脑子里的时候my coach and I together we conclude, actually it's my conclusion. As a coach, I'm planting seeds in my client's head. 所以像一个教练，我应该是在我的客户脑中种下一个种子。Maybe the seed will grow next week, tomorrow, next year, or 10 years later. It doesn't matter. My job is to plant the seed.My job is to help the client. 所以我的工作应该是去帮助客户。如果这个发芽的时间是明天或者10年以后，其实都没有关系。所以后来我就把注意力放在客户的身上，而不是放在我的身上。即使客户不喜欢我，或者没有 aha 的这种觉察，或者客户不喜欢我的 coaching session， 其实后来我就不太在意了。So I don't care that much about how clients look at me, whether I'm being liked, whether there were aha moments. I don't care about it that much.
So
所以那个之后 after that,
should I wait till you finish ask a question, or how do you want questions to be asked?
I'll finish my part of my experience sharing, and then I'll invite other people to ask questions. Okay. So this is my part of the story. After this bottleneck, I felt my being is improved a lot, even better than before I decided to become professional. 所以这个瓶颈过了之后，我觉得我的状态突然之间变得比之前还要好。Of course, this is my part of the story, and I like to stop here and ask if anyone has any question. And I also like to invite if anyone like to share similar experience.What have you experienced? What did you feel? And how did you face these blank moments? 所以有没有人可以愿意分享一下你有没有遇到过这种情况？然后你当时的感受，你是怎么样应对这种情况的？这有没有问题？ I see Alice is
I feel like Colin want to share something. I don't know.
I always want to share, but I want to give other folks a chance to share first.
Okay. I think the more you do coaching, the more the moment you have, like you just don't know what is going on here. Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, please go.
Okay, so this thing about planting a seed is so interesting because I've heard this concept like several months ago, and I heard it from Peter Guber. I don't know who's familiar with him. He's a billionaire from the US, he's owner of the best basketball club in the US, of best soccer club in the US. So basically, Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know who's familiar with him, C. Luo in Chinese, right. He arrived to Los Angeles, and this billionaire received him and spent whole day with him. And then he was asked by some people, like, why did you spend so valuable time with him? I mean, and he's not even gonna come. And he was like, yeah, but you know, your job is to plant the seed. If that seed grows, good. If it doesn't grow, you move on. You know, you need to plant the seed, and that's your job. If it grows, great. If it doesn't grow, that's what it is, you know. Right. And if you hear something like that from a billionaire who's like, I don't know, he's very close friend to Tony Robbins. I think we're all familiar with Tony Robbins here, and I believe that it's a very powerful thing, and it reminded me just to share this story with you guys. Sorry if I was a bit off topic.
It's a great story. Yeah, actually, planting a seed, it's a great story. When the environment is right, the seed will grow, I'm sure. And that's how it grew in me. It took me 3 years to see the seed growing in me. So I have strong belief in that. Yeah, it's so great. It's a very good sharing. Thank you. So I want to invite anyone else wants to share. And thanks for Alice sharing.
Yeah, I can share my experience. You know, you asked the question of, you know, what's going through your mind when you sort of realize that your client spoke for about a minute and a half and you totally blanked out. My previously, my first reaction is panic, right? Like, oh my gosh, what do I do now, right? And that happens in like a split second. And I'm interested in hearing, you know, what you recommend to do when you have that happen. I know what I did. You know, what I do is I try to go back to the original goal of the call and ask a question that I think is related. But I found the easiest thing to do, and this is very strange because, you know, I have some potential clients are on this call now, so I don't want to give away my trick, right? But you say, you know, I didn't really understand that. Can you explain it a different way? Right? And sometimes it allows them to restate it, right? So you have to have a few tricks up your sleeve, quite frankly, because, you know, as Li Jiao was saying, it happens to the best of us. Granted, the more you coach, the less it does happen because you're learning how to listen better and more actively and more globally. But in the beginning, initially, sometimes, you know, it's very hard not to blank out sometimes. So I think this is a great topic, and I'm curious to know, Jody, you know, how do you regain focus?
Actually, it's in my next slides.
Oh, perfect.
So I wonder if you can wait one more slide.
Not a problem.
But thanks for sharing. And yeah, I'm sure everyone is interested to know how does a coach manage that? Any techniques? So 所以刚刚大家的那个分享就是有一个很有钱的人，他其实也这个我就简单说一下，就是这个 planting seed 其实是一个很好的分享，所以其实很多教练都会遇到这种有突然之间空白的时刻。So Colin, can you move to the next page? We'll talk about the techniques in the next page, but here I add one content. These are the ICF competencies level. So it describes the behavior for different level of the coach. So, well, if it's okay to share all three levels. 所以这个是 ICF 的11项能力要求，然后在每一项能力要求里面，不同层级的教练有不同的行为表现。So I'm showing this page. These are extracts, and I use these. These are helps me to realize that I'm not perfect, but I'm on the right track. And if I continue to improve, I will be there. 所以如果我们一直在正确的道路上进步的话，其实即使刚开始可能像 ACC， ACC 是Associate Certified Coach， 就是大概100个小时的100 hour， 然后 PCC is Professional Certified Coach about 500 hours. I think there are also, I checked, there's also another saying 750 hours. And MCC is about 2,500 hours. MCC is Master Certified Coach. 所以3种不同的教练，你可以看一下，他们 you can check their behavior is they gradually improve themselves. So at ACC level, you can see presence is diluted by coach's own attention to self. 所以在100个小时的时候 when they are at 100 hour, 有的时候 sometimes they have attention back to themselves. So this is sometimes happens
What
to
does that
ACC.
mean, Jody?
The presence diluted by coach's own attention to self.
Yes.
I would say it's what happened to all of us. Like what happened to me.
Okay.
I had the attention back to myself. I want the client to like me. I worry about what to say next. So my attention is not. Well, we are human beings.
Right.
So my attention sometimes is not. It flipped. So it fell away. So sometimes it's happened to ACC, but the next one with 2 asterisks means this behavior will, if you have this behavior, you will not receive a passing score. So listen for a place where a coach can demonstrate their knowledge. So if 如果作为教练你是想要展示你的知识的话，you will not receive a passing score. 可能你在 ACC 就会 fail. And moving on to PCC, people with 500 to 750 hours. Coach still conscious of presenting image of good coach. So that happened to me. I want my client to like me. I want my client to think this session is great. So sometimes your attention will still come back to whether I'm a good coach. So at PCC level, this is still happening. Partnership is present, but mixed with coach as expert and greater than client. So this also happened to me. Subconsciously. 有的时候我想要呈现的好像比我的客户再高一点点. I'm a little bit greater than my client. So it happens subconsciously. But it happened to me. And the next one is at PCC level, coach is listening for answer, next question to ask, looking for what to do with what they hear and try to fit things they hear into a model they understand. 所以在 PCC 的时候，他有时候还是会用自己的世界观去套在客户的身上，或者在找下一句要问什么。这个即使在 PCC level, it's always, it sometimes happens. So if you move to MCC level, they're supposed to be the master coaching. At MCC level, coach trusts that value is inherent in the process versus having any need to create value. 所以他相信 value 该发生的时候，该出现的时候，它会出现，而不是我们要去创造这个 coaching session 的价值。And the next one, coach is listening. Coach's listening is cumulative from session to session and throughout each individual session. 它可能不是某一次 not necessarily certain session, something I have to hear, but maybe accumulative from the session before or after. And the next one is what I like the most. Coach is willing not to know. 就是教练可以接受自己是不知道的. Coach does not force awareness. 就教练不会强迫 awareness, 不会强迫觉察去发生. So it's like when I was waiting for the aha moment, I was kind of hoping the awareness will come. But at MCC level, coach does not force awareness. So you can see a improvement or a progress from ACC, PCC to MCC, and we are all on our way there. So this is why I want to show this this page. So I want to stop here and see if anyone has any question. 就在这一页大家有没有问题？这个只是一些节录. These are just extracts that I feel it's helping me. If you're interested, you can find out the complete 11 competencies.
I think this is for like examination things, like certification, right? Because it's no standard structure.
I think it's helping you to understand where you are and make sure that your behavior is on the right track. But that's how I understand it. What do you think?
MCC level.
That's MCC is like a perfect coach.
Really?
Well, imagine they have over 2,000 coaching hours.
Yeah. It seems to also be like a model, right? I'm really looking at the 9-5, right? Active listening and looking at where I think I am now and where I used to be, and looking at ACC, PCC, and MCC, and saying to myself, how can I go from one category to the other? PCC is very, 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 PCC is very common, right? And looking to be able to master that, so you're not doing that. I think there may be a category between PCC and MCC, because MCC is, quite frankly, I don't even understand that one, But knowing that there is a standard and trying to go from category to category as you to improve your expertise, I think this is a good model.
Yeah, they have this document, complete document, and very long. So I just extracted maybe just 3% of it on this page.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Yeah, I would like to ask. This all looks very interesting to me, and I can relate to a lot of these categories during my regular conversation with random people, like listening part. You can also try to display this kind of characteristics when you talk to someone trying to impress, try to boost your ego in a certain way. And I definitely would like my coach to be MCC, and I really like the description of it. But do you think maybe a client that is not very aware, that is not very, how to say, on his journey, he didn't go so far, maybe, do you think he can see MCC qualities as a weakness?
I think your
That's
question.
really good question, I think.
Did you get what I asked?
I think I get part of it.
Yeah, like because, for example, the coach is listening is cumulative from session to session throughout each individual session. The coach trusts value inherent. Yeah, for example, coach is not willing to know, or coach does not force awareness. So maybe when you display, when you show to your client that you don't know in a certain way, can he find it like as a weakness, or maybe as your try to understand you as not good enough for him, or something like that? That's my main.
Let me make sure I understand your question. You mean if I were a MCC and you are my client, and I sit in front of you and I act like I'm willing not to know, and you may feel that, what kind of coach are you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've never coached so far, but this description looks like something that someone who's not very familiar with coaching, and who's maybe not, I don't know, who sees only value in people who are kind of above him or more powerful, or I don't know. Can he see this as a weakness?
Can I? Hey, Jody, can I try to address this question?
Sure.
Yeah, I think I have a perfect example. For example, if you're coaching an executive, and the industry is finance, and they're really trying to manage their team, they're really trying to also get another promotion, and they say to you, I'm thinking about going into this area of finance. What do you think? As a coach, it's perfectly okay to say, well, you know what? I really, I think this is your area of expertise, right? Where do you think you should go? Because that shows the client that we don't have to understand everything about finance to be a good coach. And when we're younger coaches, we think we have to know more about what the client is experiencing. And that might not be the case. So this is where the coach is saying, you know what? They may not know specifically about the industry or the area, but they can still offer good advice. So when we say we're not forcing awareness, I'm not saying, you know what, well, I kind of know some finance stuff when I really don't, right? You throw it back to the coach, to a client, and say, well, you have a lot of experience in finance. How would you proceed? Where do you think you should proceed, right? So I think younger coaches may try to fake awareness, whereas a more mature coach may not, would be more willing to admit that they don't know and ask questions that still help the client. Does that help, Sasha, answer your question?
Completely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me, maybe what I can think of is if someone comes up and say, I'm experienced very difficult relationship or very difficult office environment, very hard jobs. And as a coach, I may have experienced that too, but I may not. But I don't have to act like, oh, I know all that. But yeah, I can say I have not experienced a bad marriage like that, but I can feel you have this you have the sorrow, you have the pressure. I can feel your concern. So I don't have to fake like, oh, I know how that is. I don't have to know, but I can still be there with you. We can still see, help you and see what you feel, what you want to do is best for you. Does that help you? Yeah, okay. All right, any more questions?
Yeah. I want to add on what you just advised. I think this is more, I can also explain it from the coach-client relationship, this angle, which you give more space to the client, give him or her more space to digest or to reflect or to be aware of what is happening here. This is more like spacious thing. Coach is not authority, and coach is not like, I know everything, I know this, I know that, I can help, I can support. No, coach just believes the client, you're so resourceful and you're so creative, you know everything, and you have the ability to figure out your problem. I'm just here to be with you. This is more like a spiritual or being status. This is my understanding, and I could explain more in my session.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
Okay, great. Okay, if no more questions so far, let's move to the next page. And now we can talk about, still you may need some techniques. And Colin, can you show the page? Okay, there's one technique that I think Alice also know we learned from collective coaching. I quite like this technique. Yeah, if you want to demonstrate, that's fine. That's okay.
I'm really so bad at it. Please demonstrate it. I don't know what it is. Like, you have to imagine something silvery. Please.
It's a visualization. So when you realize, when you suddenly found that, oh, I have so much thoughts, so many thoughts in my head, and I cannot focus on the session, on my clients right now, you can visualize. Maybe if you want to try, you can close your eyes and visualize with what I say. You can visualize there's a silver rain coming, and it's dripping on you, on your hair, on your face, and you feel the rain. You feel the coolness on your cheek, on your lips, on your nose. 有一阵银色的雨飘过来，然后它洒在你的头发上、你的脸上、你的嘴唇上、你的鼻子上。And you can smell the rain. It's cool. It's refreshing. 你可以闻到这个雨。And it's dripping on your skin. 可能在你的手上。And it's flowing down. And it washes away your thoughts. So you come back as a refreshed person. So it's a way that if you feel that you are panicking, you have a lot of thoughts in your mind, and you can try this one. So this is one visualization. I quite like it to help you come back as a refreshed person. 所以它可以帮你，我觉得对我来讲很有用，就是可以很快的帮我 refresh， 就重新开始。Intuition is another one. I found that when I was suddenly lost, 我就突然之间在这个 coaching session 里面，就突然之间不知道客户在讲什么的时候，I will turn to my level 2 and level 3 listening， 就是我就会换成第二层或者第三层倾听。I will respond to the client's emotion。所以在他讲的时候，虽然我不知道他的内容很具体的，但是我会讲说，我现在感觉到你好像很害怕。I may say that, I sense you have a fear. I sense you have a concern, or you worry about this situation. Do you want to talk more about it? 所以我会说，我感觉到你有一点恐惧，或者我感觉到你有一点压力，你愿不愿意讲一下？ So the client usually they will say yeah, and they will continue talking, and then we'll come back to, both of us will come back to this connection. But sometimes it's rare, but it happens. 有的时候他也会说没有啊，我没有害怕呀，或者我没有紧张呀。But it's okay. Intuition is not meant to be right. Intuition is to help you rebuild connection, or just say what you have sensed, say you observed, and help the client to bring up their awareness. So 就是直觉不是说一定要是对的，只是把你当下的感受说出来，然后你可以重新跟客户建立连接，或者帮助客户去更好的觉察。So that's another technique. But whatever you do, you're trying to reconnect with the client, with the person. 你是想要跟对方这个人建立连接，而不是跟事情建立连接。所以关注点还是在 you focus on the person, the emotion, the feeling, but not on what happened before, what happened next. That's not your purpose. So the next one, Colin, can you help?
Yep, coming. My screen is locked up. A second. Sorry, let me get this in control.
But well, it's okay. But I like to check with the group here. These are the techniques I use. But I also like to know, does anyone has other techniques? Or to be honest meaning if you really have no technique, nothing works. Just be honest and tell the clients that I'm sorry, I was a little bit lost the last second. Can you repeat? Just be honest. Your purpose is to rebuild connection with the client. So I would like to invite the group and share any other techniques that you find useful that helped you. Colin, you mentioned this. Even though your client is here, would you like to share some techniques?
两个杯子，两个温度。
Can I 那个如果没有在讲话的，请先静音，好，谢谢。
Okay, so one technique I can share a technique I do to avoid going blank. I constantly take notes, right? So during the session, I'm writing notes as they talk because I do a lot of repeating for validation. So one way to avoid is taking notes. And sometimes when the client speaks, says a long statement, a very powerful statement, I'll say, wow, I got to write this down, write it down. And they continue, right? So I'll lose my place. But what I'll do is I'll say, can you go back a second to this statement, right? And talk about the powerful statement. So, and it allows them also to repeat what they said, but allows us more importantly to go back to that powerful statement and spend some time there. So that's one technique I use to sort of go back to something they said previously that was potentially powerful and not so much focus on what I missed, because typically they'll say that again after that powerful statement.
Okay, great. Thank you, Colin. Anyone else has any good techniques you can share with the group?
I just saw some coaching fellows like Olivia, and I'm not sure if Helen is our classmate, but Olivia, would you like to share?
Hello, Elise. Hi. Hello, Jody. Hi, Colin.
Oh.
Yeah, from that part, I think practical perspective, I don't have too much of the experience now, but I think you guys shared is really helpful. Just, I could only share be present with your client. Yeah, just focus on the topic, bring out all your antenna, laser focus on the second level and third level listening on to the emotions, to the micro facial expressions, to what's hidden behind, to bring out the curiosity to what's the client trying to tell us. So that's in my imagination on the real cases or on the real cases that I will do.
Yeah, so Olivia, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks to Olivia.
Hold on, Jody, because Elise, I like your style of calling out coaches, right? So I think Coach Sherry is on the line as well. So Coach Sherry, you probably had this. You're an experienced coach. Has this happened to you? And if so, what have you done to sort of regain your focus?
I never lose it. Sorry, I cannot understand this.
Similar Yeah, I do not have too much of the practical moment of the losing focus. So because we are trained to be focused. So,
Okay.
yeah, experience.
We have poor training. Okay.
No, and we talk about like focus.
What I'm implying. So
Right.
Just with limited experience, I haven't encountered in the real cases. But what I can imagine is that. So I can echo with Elise. Don't have too much to share on this part, but I think what we discussed is something. It could happen when we have lower energy. We have a first level curiosity, focus on what we wanted to do rather than what the client wants to achieve. So sometimes it could happen. I think this is a good perspective to be able to share and discuss. So back to Elise. Yes, just add on what you brought more thoughts from my side. Thank you.
And thanks, Colin's question. You remind me that I figured out maybe at the beginning of the coaching, because I have to take like 1 hour to go to my client's place, and then we start coaching. So, both of us have to adjust the status. So it means maybe I can not also very quickly just in the status of coach. So maybe sometimes I will lose myself, like not in the status, but it's very important that you just put yourself back in very stable and very neutral status. Because when you just lose your status, but it's very important you just come back. I don't think it's like lose your focus is very common, but it's more important that you just adjust very quickly. And when you do this more, you feel like if you there's no losing anymore because you do it so quick.
Right. And I would say, you mentioned that when you have to travel to see a client and the first few moments may be a little hectic, right? I think as coaches, it is our responsibility to make sure that they're not hectic, because that's the first 30, 45 seconds of that call is where you really set the atmosphere of a call. And if we know that typically it gets a little hectic, we have to do everything we can to avoid that, because remember, the client is paying cash. They're paying money, right? They're paying money, and they have to absolutely get their full value. If they think like even 1 minute was wasted, you feel it, and they will shut down. And once they shut down, it's hard to get it back in that session. And as you know, if you only have X number of coaching sessions with a client and you're helping them try to achieve their goal, missing 1 hour, losing 1 hour is a lot to miss, a lot to lose, right? So we have to make sure, I like what Olivia said, right? We're trained to listen, right? So we have to train to make sure that once we start that call, we set the correct tone instantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And since you talk about hectic, I think arrive early is another technique. At least 10 minutes early, you settle down and you control. Just let your breathe slow down.
Right.
So I think that's the minimum as a professional coach that we should do. And in the book, the corrective book, it also says you can have a small ritual. So you either have some scent. 就是你烧一些香啊，或者是 or you pour a cup of water, or you do something as a ritual, and if you do it every time, 如果你每次都做这个小小的仪式, it will help you get into the coaching mode quickly. 所以你可以自己设计一个小小的仪式，然后每一次开始之前你有一个小小的仪式，然后这个会让你慢慢习惯进入这个教练的模式。Yeah, that's 2 more techniques. Great. Okay, so here's my session, and if you have any more, because my time is up, so if you have any more question, you can ask me offline. And I like to thank everyone, and thanks Colin for inviting me to share. Thank you.
No problem at all. And let me say thank you for saying yes when I invited you to share. Okay. So
no problem.
that's the important part, right? So thank you. So next we are going to have here we go, Coach Elise Li. She will tell you more about herself. But before she gets on, I want to say that I met Coach Elise probably a little over a month ago at one of our workshops. She just recently joined, and she was very active on the call and very eager to accomplish a few goals. I'm not going to say what those goals were, but she accomplished those goals very quickly. And I want to say it's been great working with her over the past month and a half, because again, when you have people who are very highly motivated, it brings the energy every time you talk to them. So I think you guys are going to feel her energy here also. So I'll hand things over to you, Coach Elise. You want to start sharing? I should stop sharing here?
I can share my screen, but at the same time, I will also share my secret, right? Like some WeChat or I don't know. Let me see.
So I have stopped sharing?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
See my screen? Yep. Good. Okay. My mouse doesn't show up again. Okay. So everyone, thanks for coming. I'm Coach Elise, and this is the title, which when I speak it, like I'm Coach Elise, I feel so proud of myself. Really. I'm also co-active certifying coaching, which I spend I don't remember, it's balance course, the third time course, together with Jody in Beijing and Jody based in Shanghai, and like Olivia, we had the long journey from the first course to the last course in end of August, five times totally. So I'm so glad to be here to share with you guys my experience and little expertise, I would say, because I just got my first client, and I'm still doing the marketing part. So I'm so looking forward to what Colin share later about your marketing. Yeah. And I just defining my life purpose, which I think is very important for every coach, because it's my personal feeling. During my coach learning journey, I feel it's more clear when I have my life purpose. I feel like my doing part, my action part is stronger than ever than before, because I'm a very lazy person. I was a very lazy person, and I was very good at looking for excuse to, I'm too weak, and I'm too busy, or I cannot make money. I have a lot of excuses. I don't want to do coaching. I'm not good enough, things like that. But after I found my life purpose, I feel like I'm so full of energy and full of resource, full of power to chase what I really want. And I evolve it like daily, little by little, and now it's just like this. I'm a living creator who full of creativity, energy, nature, and freedom to live myself out, and which will empower my client, which is also creators and entrepreneurs, to live themselves out. So this is what I encourage everyone to find out what your life purpose is, because as a coach, if you have your life purpose, it's a big power to connect with your client to find their life purpose. And ultimately, I believe coaching is to support your client to live a fulfilled life. It's not only about topic. Behind every topic, there's a big picture we have to focus on. We have to pay more attention on it. We support the person, we not support the topic. I'm so talkative, right? Okay, let's go to the next page. My topic is the coach-client relationship. Let's simplify seeing it's coaching relationship. When I first get this topic, I feel like, I want to share more about the coach-client, the coaching relationship in the coach. But later I found out there's another relationship just outside the coaching. It means, especially for new coaches, when you first contact, first coaching session with your client, it's very important to build up this kind of relationship. So I would like to speak more about it. The first one is the coaching environment, which I was suffering recently, because when I do free session, and maybe for my client it's okay already because we have a fixed place. But for like free session, sometimes we find some coffee bars or somewhere, I don't know, you find your place, but this place has to be very safe. I would say safe, and it just provided a space that like your client feel like, oh, this is a place I can take risks, I can take charge, I can do more, I can expand my boundary, my range. So this place is very important. And if you are lucky to find this place, it's very good. I hope if anyone have any good resources, share. Okay, we would like to listen more, like which place that you recommend is the best for your coaching. And also this coaching environment, it means not only physically safe, it also means you're mentally safe. You feel and your client feel, oh, it's safe. It means your relationship with your client, this relationship, this environment between you and around you, all of this is very safe. And when I say safe, it does not mean it's comfortable. I feel like, oh, I'm ready to relax, and I feel like so relaxed. It's not comfortable. It might be challenging as well, but the experience is very safe. I don't know whether I make it clear, like the whole coaching session and also the feeling, the whole experience is safe. And it might be so challenging for your clients to do the change, to make some transformation on it. So this is about coaching environment. The next one is the design alliance, which I think is crucial, is the key factor for every new coach, because I'm a new coach, so I can only speak for new coach. It means when we learn design alliance, we call it shortly like the DA. When we learn it, I feel like, oh, it's just like something like agreement that you know me, I know you, and I check how you're going, things like that. But in a real coaching session, it's more like it's agreement, and also it's especially important for the first session or the first few sessions that you know what your client expects from you. This is very important. And you manage your client's expectation, which is very important. You let her know, my client is her, so I use her. You let her or let him know that what I can offer now, what I cannot. Well, like I'm in certifying status, I'm not a PCC or CPCC or MCC level yet. So you're very honest to let her know that you should, or you shall, or you probably expect what level. Yeah, this kind of conversation is very important. And also it includes some discussion about what will support you the most, because you are your own master, you know yourself well. So as a coach, as your coach, what I can do to support you like the most effectively. So you tell me. This kind of conversation is very, very crucial, because as co-active coaching, we have kind of like 20 questions to know your clients, and it's all like very important questions. Let me think about one. Looking at 20 years later, there was one event, and there is a man share a story about you. What would like this man talking about you? This kind of questions. Then you can have a picture about your client, what your client wants to be after 20 years in the future. This kind of whole image, and what her dream, what her eager, what her intention, things like that. So this is about DA part. And every time you have to design the DA before every coaching session, because your relationship can evolve every time by time. The next one is, please correct me if I didn't pronounce it correct. Homeostasis. Yes. My understanding, thank you. My understanding about it is it's very common in every human being, especially when your client takes a lot of courage to make some, to challenge himself or herself, to make changes, to do the things he doesn't do that often. After some time, he feel like, I'm very uncomfortable. I don't want change anymore. And this kind of feeling is not because you're coaching. It's because this word is in his body. This is like a natural born system, which will help people to be stable. So you are aware of this, and you have your client to be aware of it. Both of you aware of, okay, when we after like 3 months coaching, you do some progress, but later you feel like I don't want to challenge myself anymore. But now you feel like, oh, we are aware of that. It's very common that you want to go back, but it's okay. We'll give you more time. We do more coaching, and we'll figure out like, yeah, things going on. So you will be aware of this kind of changing. It's very subtle, I would say. Yeah. And if anyone is interested in it, I think you can just Google and to know more. Yeah, that's only my understanding. And next one is the bigger picture. The big picture between the coach-client relationship means you're not only focused on every time's coaching, you're building up, you're adding up your relationship by every time's coaching. And after, I don't know, maybe after a few sessions, you'll figure out, wow, the coaching relationship is so powerful. And it requests my clients 100% commitment, also coach's 100% commitment to use all my resources, all my efforts, all my expertise to support my client to make the transformation. So my client also make 100 commitment. I want a more fulfilled life, things like that. Then you build up from there the 100% commitment, which will make your relationship and also your coaching more effective. So this is about the big picture thing. Yeah. So this is the outside coaching. If anyone have any question, please don't hesitate to ask. And I cannot control the PPT now, so yeah, this is all about it. I invite any question if you have. No? Good. Let's move on. Okay, this is a key part which bring me here. The coaching relationship between coach and client in coaching session. If you use just one sentence to clarify what it means, like this triangle, I just put the picture from this book. It's a coactive coaching book, which Jody just mentioned, and also our coactive coaching founder wrote this book. And there's a triangle model. It's called the coaching power triangle. It means the coaching relationship is powerful. It means as a coach, I'm not powerful. It means the client grants the power to the relationship. The coach grants the power to the relationship. So the relationship itself is so powerful. And the relationship impact the client and make the client take action, do the transformation.
Yeah, what does the up and down arrow?
Yeah, I see your confusing faces. Sorry.
Yeah, so what does that mean? Can you hear me?
What that mean? Yeah.
So I understand.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I understand the coaching, the arrow going up to the top, right? I guess that means that the coaching is impactful and important there. But I see the client going up and down. I don't understand that.
Yeah, this is very, very, very good question. Like, I think it relates to some basic belief about how you look at your client. If you, as a coach, you are here, like if you look at a client as here or here, you always think, oh, he's in control. Oh, he's not. He's so weak. He's so strong. So this is not relationship. When we talk about this relationship, it means peer relationship, means you're equal. Like we all human beings.
Right,
I'm just being here with him, with my client.
Right.
And we call this relationship, and this relationship is so powerful, which will affect my client's behavior, mindset, or whatever. And if I can use a metaphor to explain it, like everyone is like a circle. My client is a circle, and coaching is a circle. And we two we first met, and we do coaching, and we kind of like involving, like we have a mutual part.
Right.
And this part is so powerful. So we always say that when coach do a coaching, we also absorb a lot of energy and a lot of reflection, a lot of awareness from the coaching session from our client. And it's magic, like the topic my client bring to me, it always similar like what I am confusing now. You know, it's energy attraction.
Right.
So yeah. So this is more like things like that. You are in the eco status, and you're human to human. You're not coach, and of course in this coaching session you have your role like a coach and client, but at this moment you're supporting your client to explore his stuff. It means you two are equal, and you just see him like as a human being, as a person, so naturally, so flow, so beautiful, so resourceful, so creative. You just see him and you believe him. You let me borrow what Olivia always said. What Olivia you always said, I hold my intent. I had a vision for you. I hold a vision for you. Like the coach always hold a vision for the client, which is very important. This belief that I believe that you will do better. I believe you can change your job. You can do a better work, things like that. Yeah. I don't know whether it's too spiritual for you to understand, because usually it's too coactive, maybe. I don't know.
You know, Elise, I'll say this. When I talk to clients and ask them, or people who have had coaches before, and ask them about their experience, you know, a lot of people have had great experience with coaches. When a client, when they share with me that they have not had the best experience, I always want to know why. And a few of them will say, you know what, we really didn't reach my goal, my target. But most of them say, and some of them say, we didn't reach our target, that's okay. But we never really had a relationship. We were never, they never felt comfortable with that coach, and they may have felt the coach was going through a pre-script. I think in Jody's part, that first dynamic, it was the coach is waiting to hear something where they can put in a predefined answer, right? So it's sort of like they never felt like there was that, as you said, the communication was there on the same level, right? It always felt more like it felt more like it was more robotic. So I think, as you stated here, having that organic, personal relationship and taking the time to develop that is very important. And I've experienced the same. It is very important. And it makes coaching a whole lot easier when there is some sort of relationship with the client.
Right. And it's also challenging because after the coaching, you have to detach from what your, that kind of connection in the coaching session. That's very important. It's so challenging. You have to detach, because as a coaching profession, you know what you do is for profession. And after coaching, you just detach. Whatever you cannot go out, you can, things like that.
It is a business.
Yeah, you can use the word business. Because that also build up your profession image or your profession expertise, because in the future, you're not one person's coach. You're 100 person's coach or more. So it means you cannot, get involved with every client so close and intimacy. We don't use intimacy, actually. I don't think this word quite apply for coaching. Yeah.
Right.
So this is explain about the coaching, relationship in coaching. And let's see what's next. And this question is, why it's important as a coach to notice this coaching relationship? because because I want to see the word what I said. Because every coaching, every client actually, and every coaching is so unique. When you see a person as a person, you also see this person is similar but different. Similar, your client has his own suffer like your other clients, but different, your relationship, how you build up the relationship, the dynamic between you guys, and how you eventually build up the relationship, and also the coaching journey. Every moment is so unique. And if you use more intuition, it's more unique, as creative as, not always like step by step, and today I use this tool, tomorrow I use that tool, and there's no tool at all. You just enjoy every moment. So it's very, very unique. And as a coach, you barely cannot share with your client and also with your other coaching fellows about every coaching session, how unique experience you experienced. Because what both client and coach experience at that moment is only in that moment. Nobody can explain it after that. So it's so important. And every moment in the coaching session as a example is a powerful coaching, which will help your client to change. I put this picture because I want to explain it like the client is like the climber. He's climbing the so cliff face of the mountain. Is full of challenge, so dangerous, it's so risky. But he believes in you, that you are behind of her or him, holding the rope for her, and she's trying to take the risks. And she believes you just to hold the rope to support her with the 100%, the full confidence. I believe in you. I back you up. And I think this powerful relationship makes your client keep climbing, which you can do just to, kind of, I don't know the word, just to release the rope little by little. You cannot do more. You can, or cheer up, things like that. No, there's nothing you can do, just to release the rope. Just follow her tempo, follow her pace. When she wants to take risks, you just hold the rope for her. And when she wants to keep climbing faster, you release the rope. So I think I show this picture just to show you like the relationship, and also how powerful this relationship is. So I only have one photos. Anyone have any questions? I invite questions. No more? Thank you. And next one. Is it anyone still here? I cannot see. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Because I only see 3 of you, like 4 of us. I didn't see anyone else because I'm in control of the screen. Okay. This is the picture which I like, and also this is a sentence I want to give everyone as a coach. And the picture was taken last Sunday on a Lululemon yoga party, things like that. A lot of yoga master, a lot of yoga fellows come, and people there are so naturally, beautifully dancing there. And I just captured this photo in the middle of this lady. I love her energy. She's so flow. She's so enjoy every moment. You see, you can judge her by her appearance. Like, wow, she's like a hippie, or a lot of tattoos, or so creative things, artists and things. You can also judge everything what you see. But the energy you feel from her, you cannot judge. The energy is intuition. I feel the energy. She's so flow, she's so beautiful. So I just go to talk to her. And you know what? It's just like magic. Every word, every sentence she said, is a belief that I believe. I feel the energy. I went there, talk to her. I feel, wow, so deep connection with two human beings. We are outside different, but inside the same. We're same soul inside. So this is also the message I want to convey to all the coaching fellows. When you look at your client, you see a different outside appearance with you, but the same soul in you. You're the same. You're totally the same. It means you all have anger. You all have eager. You all have suffer. You all eager to grow happily and fulfilled, and you all want money, and you know, whatever. It is all the same. It's so human. You're like a whole. You have no difference at all. So you just need to pay attention to your client and dance with her at every moment, naturally, beautifully, to see him and to see yourself. And I think this is the power of coaching. And I feel like I'm so blessed as a coach. So yeah, invited to share this, yeah, to you guys. So this is the ending. Thank you.
So Coach Elise, thank you for a great spiritual presentation.
Yeah, it's so spiritual, I know.
No, I always enjoy hearing you speak because, you know, a lot of times we get caught up into the truth about coaching and we lose some of the spiritual side, some of the emotional side, some of the soft side. So I always enjoy hearing you because you always remind us that, you know, that you must make a connection. At the end of the day, you need to be natural and organic. So thank you.
Thank you. This is also what I learned from you, because I see a very structured, very target-oriented, very powerful coach. I really, really admire this part. This is what I should learn more. Thank you.
Thank you. So we had two, you know, great presentations, and let me confirm, you guys can see my screen? Okay, so we had two great presentations on more of the techniques on being a great and effective coach. So now we're going to go to the cold side, right? I call it the cold, hard business side. And this is very important because, you know, at the end of the day, we are running a business. So, you know, I think coming from how to really keep you focused on your clients, to give them their value, to then respecting that client relationship, and now looking at how we identify and penetrate your target market. So I think you can see the page here and you see various information about me. You guys can read that. I really want to focus in now on what I would say, you know, is a very important and necessary aspect of every business, not just coaching. You need to understand who your clients are, who your customers are, or I should say who your potential clients are, who your potential clients and customers are, and more importantly, where are they? So in the next 30 minutes, and Elise, I'm going to ask you to keep me honest. When we have 10 minutes left, can you just let me know? As you know, I talk a lot, so I want to make sure that I get everything in because this is, I think, is a great piece of information. And again, guys, this is not an expert at a podium speaking. This is, as Lee said, we're all peers here, right? So you're in class. I may be sharing some stuff, but if you have questions, at the end of each slide, I'll pause, ask questions. This is not just me speaking. The best thing we can do is have conversations about these things. And if you don't understand something, or I'm talking too fast, let me know. So let's jump on in. Okay, so identifying and penetrating your target market. There are 4 key activities, and if you are a business owner, you're very familiar with these. Determining and developing your specialty, creating target client personas, identifying your target market, and networking and socializing directly to your market. If you look at the first bullet here, determine and develop coaching specialty. The coaching specialty is also called your niche, right? A lot of coaches say this is my niche. I like to say coaching specialty because you are developing specialized skills in that particular area. And a lot of coaches get very intimidated when they have to start this activity. So before we go into this first key steps, let's take a moment and talk about the importance of developing your target and client market. Now, to make sure we're on the same page as far as certain definitions, when we talk about target client, your target client is the person that will find your coaching specialty and skills helpful. If you are let's say you are a career coach, your target client are individuals who want to improve their careers. When we talk about target market, your target market is a grouping where you can find and connect with your target client. So I always say, my target client is one person. My target group is a whole bunch of that one person's together, okay? So the golden whys on why having target clients and a target market is important. Well, the first reason is it allows you to apply your skills to a segment of the market where they are most valuable. If you're able to really identify what your skill set is and hone those skills, then you can focus on specifically that individual section of the market, because in that section of the market, most clients want to hear and are interested in what you are selling and what you are speaking about. So again, you can apply your skills to a particular segment of the market. Also, it ensures that your marketing efforts are effective. I think all of us here have underwent some sort of marketing, whether it's through WeChat, using some social media, online tools, passing out business cards. I've seen folks on the subways getting folks to sign up to their cell phone, to the WeChat, right? So it's better if you're marketing directly towards people who want to hear your message. It allows you to really be more effective. And when you're spending money marketing, it allows you to get the best bang for your buck. Also, developing a specific skill set which leads to an expertise. So again, if you're focused in on learning and improving and learning, and you're learning how to be a better coach in a particular area, at some point that will lead to expertise. There are some individuals who you can know a little about a lot, or you can know a lot about a little. So as we talk about getting into your niche area, your specialty, it's best to take the latter, where you're really knowing a lot about a little bit. And here you can serve more people much more adequately. And finally, it does allow your initial coaching conversation to be much, much more effective. And what do I mean by that? So a lot of times when we meet people, let's say we're at a barbecue or a social event, and we're having to have a conversation with somebody. So what do you do? Well, I work and do this. Okay, what do you do? Well, I'm a coach. Oh, really? What is coaching? I can say, well, coaching is, we help people, reach their goals, dreams, and desires, and yada, 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 yada. Oh, okay, very interesting. Okay, good to meet you. Bye-bye. Right? However, if we say, yeah, you know what? I'm a communications coach. I help people who have problems communicating and developing relationships. I help them to really get over the fear of speaking in public. I help them to really be more confident in their speaking. If that person you're talking to has a fear of speaking, he may say, wow, I have that issue too. And there you go, and you're able to have a deeper conversation. So if you have 10 people in the room and they all have a particular pain point, but you don't really touch on any of them, you've lost everybody. But if you have a particular niche and find that common with at least one person there, you may then get one potential client. So you want to make sure that you do have a focused area. It allows that conversation to be much more effective. Okay, before I move on to the next slide, any questions?
Question.
Yes.
Yeah. We always met this question. What is coaching? How you explain it? Like, because every time I feel like I cannot cannot explain, so I invite a free session, things like this.
Right. So I think, as a coach, that is one of the first questions you must be able to answer. And I say you must answer that being savvy.
Yeah.
So if I'm somewhere and we're having a conversation and somebody says, "What do you do?" I'll say, "I'm a coach." And they'll say, "Oh, what sport?" I'll say, "The sport of life." The sport of life. And that always gets the reaction, right? So you want to play that up. And when they say, "Well, what does the coach do?" Well, we help people reach their goals, dreams, and desires. And we do that by doing this, right? By helping them understand more about what they want, validating that they truly want that, and helping them get past some of the blockers that they've had before. Because in most cases, what people are trying to achieve, before they come to a coach, they've tried to do it on their own. And they have not been able to do that. So as a coach, we help people really achieve their goals, and more importantly, get back those blockers or things, get past those things that have prevented them from getting past them in the past. And there's so many variations of how to answer that question, but it's a question you must be able to answer very cleanly and very succinctly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, great. So now, I like this picture here. When we think about developing a coaching niche, and I remember way back when I was trying to think about my niche, and a lot of coaches, when they graduate from their coaching program, they're recommended that they identify a specialty area. At that time, they have all these, I had all these different thoughts in my head. Wow, I could do this, I could do that. How about this, how about that? But more importantly, I didn't want to identify an area because I was afraid I'd miss some potential clients. If you think about when you first graduate from your program or when you first start coaching, your biggest question is, how do I get paid clients? And sometimes a coach will say, I want any paid client. Anybody who will pay me to help them, I can help anybody. Well, you probably could help anybody, but you may not be able to help them as effectively as you could if you specialize in their area. And you may get more clients if you specialize in the area. So I think this picture really sums it up great, how you start with a lot of different ideas. And as you think about and go through the process of steps I'm going to share with you, you come out with one niche area that you really want to focus in on. So the first thing you need to do is really and honestly assess and consider your current skills. What are you good at? What are some of your accomplishments professionally and personally? A lot of individuals want to go into careers where they have a personal attachment, not only professional attachment. So what are some of your personal, professional accomplishments, and what are you really, really good in? If you are really good in talking to people and making them feel relaxed, then coaching is something you want to consider. If you're really good at helping people to do sports, right? Helping people to improve their health. Well, you may want to be a wellness coach. So you have to ask yourself, what are your current skills? Also, what are you passionate about? What are some areas of previous and current interest? Now, I always tell folks, ask people, when you were 15 years old, what did you always want to do, right? Before you became an adult and life got to you, what did you really, really want to do? Think about that, because now you have an opportunity to perhaps specialize in an area that's related to your passion. And then, and very importantly, public sentiment. What areas are people talking about and having pain in? And this is called getting the pulse, right? Getting the pulse of the environment. If you ask questions, if you just listen to your friends, you may hear your friends and people talk about having some pains in certain areas. That lets you know that this is an area where people also may need some support and some coaching. Once you've assessed, you then want to really identify and understand what are the specific pain points that people are having. There are some individuals now that are very concerned about AI, and not the fact that AI is going to start delivering their mail for them, automatically through a robot, but more that their jobs are going to be changing. And their pain point may be they fear that they're too old to learn a new skill. So we went from people having some career issues, right, to being concerned about AI, and then their particular pain point is they fear that they're too old to learn new skills. So understanding the pain points people are having is very important. And then understanding what options do they have for assistance, right? Beyond coaching, what other avenues do they have that can help them? And then more importantly, what do personal improvements look like? If somebody is having a fear that they are beyond being retrained, find somebody who felt like that and got past that and understand what did they do to improve? What does personal improvements look like? Because you have to understand not just what the issue is, but also what does success in that area look like? Then, of course, you must evaluate and build skills. Firstly, ensure that you have the skills. I'll say it again, ensure that you have the skills. Now, you can also say that, well, I want to build skills in this area. You can build skills. You can absolutely build skills. But if you build skills, you should not be effective the first few days, the first few times. So if you're going to coach somebody, it's best to coach somebody where you have those skills as opposed to building skills. Now, you can always have one niche area, a specialty area, while you work on developing another. But you have to ensure you have the skills first. And of course, research and study to increase expertise in that area. You should always be looking to increase your ability to help your client. Always, always, always. Okay, so before we move on to the next slide, any questions on determining and developing your coaching specialty?
Yes, what is the first sentence, the profession? This means like before coaching, we all do various works. Like me, I'm doing marketing before.
Right.
What do you mean like by personal, professional? Yeah.
So for example, professional, when I worked with IBM, I was a Lean Six Sigma black belt, right? You have a lot of project managers who are PMP certified. So looking at what you've accomplished at work also, a lot of PMP certified people want to go into more entrepreneurial coaching as well. So looking at what you've actually accomplished in your personal life and also in the professional life. On the personal side, let's say you've done some marathons. If you've done some marathons, if you're very into exercise, you may be able to coach people in living a healthy life, how to eat better, how to exercise better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm about.
Okay, thank you.
Colin, I have a question.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm Grace. Like you mentioned, what does the personal improvements look like? You give the question, and then can you answer more details about like the personal improvements? Like what does it look like?
Absolutely. So let me give an example. So let's say the example I want to give is you have individuals who have been trying to I'll do either one. They've been trying to improve their health, meaning they've been trying to lose weight. So understanding pain points that people are having who are trying to lose weight. Well, there can be binge eaters. They can be people eat when they're nervous, eat when they're lonely. They get people who just don't have the hard work ethic to exercise. So you can focus on the issues they're having. What's stopping them from accomplishing their goal? But you also want to look at what does an improvement look like. For individuals, for example, who are trying to lose weight, it's obvious that personal improvements are a weight loss, right? But that might not be the only improvement. The other improvement is, for example, they may no longer binge eat. When they're on the couch, haven't had a tough day at work, lonely, they may not eat donuts. They may not eat cake. They may not eat at midnight. They may be able to get past some of their internal issues without relying on eating bad food. And sometimes people eat to get a good feeling, right? So personal improvement it can be weight loss, right? But also the ability to not go back to that destructive behavior they had before. Does that make sense, Grace?
Yeah, if something cannot be like quantified, yeah, like the weight you lose, you can evaluate it, but some feeling or like being more confident or achieve other like professional expertise like in your career. So something that you cannot evaluate by numbers. Yeah.
Correct. And sometimes you can, but if you talk to somebody who lost 20 pounds and you say, wow, how did you do that? They're going to tell you about the exercise and diet part, but I guarantee you they'll also talk about what they had to do to stop having the bad behavior. Bad behavior meaning, it's Friday, I'm on my way home, I'm going to stop in here and get some pizza, right? And that's really where you see what I call a personal improvement, because the weight loss is a result of those personal improvements. So you have to understand and be able to recognize what it means and how people achieve that personal improvement.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. And thank you for your question, Grace. So the next one here is to create your target client persona. Now, when we talk about our target client persona, this is really creating your typical target client. And the great thing about creating personas is they are literally a visual depiction of target client attributes. And we break this down into 4 areas: say, think, do, feel. So if a client is going through an experience or going through a pain point, when we talk about say, what do they say or need to say to others? How do they likely express themselves? And I'm going to show you guys an example in a moment. What are they thinking in their head? What do they think about the situation? How do they feel about it inside? And what are they doing? We also want to look at generating as much detail about a client as we can. So what we do here is we take this sort of blank sheet and we try to identify very detailed a typical individual person, right? We want to have their name, their gender, their age, family status, their profession, and other information. And hopefully we're able to create 2 to 3 different personas. Now, all these personas have something in common, but again, we're trying to really better identify our target client. So again, create 2 to 3 personas, then find individuals who fit this persona and ask them for feedback. Is this accurate, right? What do you say in the situation? What do you think? What do you do? And what do you feel? And then update. So let me share with you all an example. So we call this guy Sam, and Sam is an introvert. So the target client, the issue Sam is having, men and women who are not comfortable talking with others and forming relationships. So individuals, so this is the pain point this target client's having. So for our first persona, we went with a man. His name is Sam. He is 33 years old. He's single. He's an IT developer, and he's introverted, meaning he really stays by himself a lot. So again, being uncomfortable talking with others and forming relationships, what he says is, I usually make excuses to not eat lunch with my coworkers. I only talk when asked a question at work and don't share personal. In reality, I don't say much at all. Now, what's he thinking in his mind when it comes to speaking? Well, if I talk in public, people will think I don't know what I'm talking about. If I don't improve my relationship building skills, I will not get a girlfriend or a better job. And I think, you know what, I really would rather just watch video games, watch videos and play games. So this is what he thinks, this is what he says, this is what he thinks in his mind. But how does he feel? How does this issue really make him feel on the inside? Well, man, when I think about public speaking, I start sweating just thinking about talking in public. I get so nervous when asked to join group training at work because I know I have to talk and say something. But you know what? I'm tired of feeling lonely and being miserable. So based on all this, what does he do? When Sam is not comfortable talking with others and forming relationships, what does he do on a daily basis? Well, even though I have good ideas, I just stay silent. And since I'm a loner, I stay by myself a lot and do not talk to many people. And I basically stay at home and watch videos and play games. So with this information, you all should be able to really get a better picture of what your target client looks like. Now, this is based off of doing a little bit of research. What you now want to do is go back and find people you think fit this model and interview them. Ask them questions to see what they say, think, do, feel, and then update this persona. Okay, any questions for the current slide? The client persona slide.
What is this for? Create your target clients person?
Right. So when you think about identifying who your target client is, when you create a persona, it allows you to create a visual of who your target client is. So when a lot of people, especially when people are going through some sort of pain, they have different faces. They may say one thing in public, but in their mind they're thinking something else. They may act a certain way, do certain things, and they may feel a certain way on the inside. So when you want to be very specific on who your potential client, target client is, it's best to identify who they are, right? So what we have here are descriptions or descriptors of who we feel is our target client. So we want to find people who are having, men and women who are not comfortable talking with others and forming relationships that fit this mold. Does that make sense?
It sounds like an FBI something, you know, you analyze your target area, and I really appreciate this method. Which I want to add on is we do this maybe also change another perspective to see like they don't have any issue, like they have like a bigger dream to realize.
Right.
That.
Right. Right. So again, so that would be another persona, right? So say your target client are individuals, right, who have a great dream they want to accomplish, but might not know how, right? And you may call that dreamer Dr. Martin Luther King. I have a dream, right? You can call him whatever you want, but then you would also say for people who have a big dream and don't know how to accomplish it, what are they saying? Well, they're saying, you know what, I have a dream. Well, they're thinking, I have a dream, but I don't know how to do it. How are they feeling? Oh, I'm starting to feel a little bad because I have a dream, I don't know how to get it. And what are they doing? Maybe they're giving up. Maybe they're talking to somebody. So again, identifying what are the attributes for people who fit that persona, because once you have those, it allows you better to identify and talk to those individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm getting short on time. So let me go into how we go about doing this. So the next step is to
17 minutes.
17? Okay. The next step is to identify your target market. So previously, let me go back here. Can I go back? 1 second. Let me go back. So previously, what we're doing is identifying our target client. This is an individual. So for example, we say Sam is the profile of our target client. Again, we want to talk to people to validate this. So now we want to identify our target market. So what we'll do is we'll find individuals who fit the description of Sam, individuals who want to improve their public speaking, who want to do better job casual speaking and forming relationships. We'll interview them to understand the persona categories. Also identify, how do you find where these people are? If these people are introverts, how can we come into contact with them? And then also learn more details about specific pain points. You want to learn as much as you can about what they're trying to accomplish and what's stopping them from accomplishing that. The more you know about that, the more you can do your research on how to help them and how to reach them. So once you've identified your target persona, you then want to identify your potential interaction opportunities, right? How do you find out where individuals like Sam spend their time? So if we use the same example, individuals who are very shy and do not like public speaking and do not like even casual speaking and developing relationships. Well, you can say potentially based on interviews, based on talking to people, I want to go to some professional events. Well, that's very, very weak, right? What kind of professional event? We want to get more detailed and say, perhaps Toastmasters weekly meetings. We all know Toastmasters are a group of people who want to improve their ability to communicate. That may be where you find people who are trying to do that. Also, networking events. Networking events that's also weak is very broad. Perhaps public speaking meetup groups. Now, as you start attending these groups and going to these groups, you'll be meeting more people who are doing two things, who are stuck in trying to achieve this goal or who are actively achieving a goal. And interviewing both of these individuals will help you do what? Get more information on how to find a market toward these two groups. So this is a very, very, very important step, identifying where your target market is. And two key factors here. In that environment where you're talking to people who potentially have these pain points in a part of your market, is being able to have a casual introduction, being in an easy atmosphere. You want to be in good standing, have a very good reputation, and you want to make sure there's a high frequency of events. If you're able to go somewhere that has weekly meetings, that's even better. And a coach factor is you must be very comfortable coaching and speaking in that specialty area and have confidence. I marked up the word high confidence. As a coach, you don't have to have high confidence. You just must have confidence. And going back here to being very comfortable coaching and speaking in that area, it's very important that you are at ease when talking about coaching in an area. If you are a relationship coach and you don't like talking about relationships, it's going to be very hard for you to really be comfortable, because the client will feel your energy or lack of energy and excitement. Okay, so for your identified target market, any questions on these first two activities, identifying your target persona and identifying potential interaction opportunities? Okay, let's continue on. We have about 10 more minutes. So we now want to talk about target market penetration. So then how do you identify and penetrate your target market? Well, the first thing you have to do is develop a very confident ask statement. And what I mean by that is you have to get over the resistance of talking to your friends, families, and ex-colleagues and asking them for support. A lot of new coaches are very hesitant to go back and ask their friends for support. And the best network you have is a network of friends, family, ex-colleagues, because they do know you. And if you're in good standing, typically they will help you. So you have to get over that resistance and practice how you're going to ask them for their support and their help. And once you go back to the question earlier about how do you define coaching, somebody asks that. Well, once you have your answer, practice, 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 practice. You have to be able to ask them with confidence. And what are you asking them for? You're going to contact your network and explain to them what you're doing and ask for referrals. You want to go to your network and say, do you have any friends who have a fear of speaking in public? Do you have any friends who have not been able to really manage relationships due to the fact that they're shy and don't know how to communicate? Typically, if they're your friends, they'll give you a name or two. And really, they'll do it because they want to help you, and they feel like they're helping the other person as well. So you want to create an atmosphere where your friends feel that they're helping the referral by introducing them to you. And I'll say, once you contact that person, for that initial conversation, use real-time voice-to-voice communication. Do not contact your friends, family, and ex-colleagues via email. That first conversation, let it be voice-to-voice. Now, when you follow up, it can be via text and email, but that first conversation where you're asking them for your help, it should be voice-to-voice. Once you have gotten the referrals, the list of contact and names, it's important now to contact and really provide a win-win situation for the person you're helping. So let's go back to Sam. My friend Mike and Sam are very good friends. I share with Mike what I'm doing. Mike, I'm trying to develop a coaching niche helping individuals who have challenges public speaking or maintaining relationships due to speaking. Do you know anybody who can use my help? Yes, I have a friend, Sam. He can use your help. Really, would you mind giving me the information and letting him know I'll contact him? Once you have that information, you then need to reach out to Sam and share with him what you're doing. Hey, Sam, my name is so-and-so. I am trying to develop a coaching practice specializing in communication and whatnot, and I'd like to get your time to interview you to learn more about what you're experiencing, right? And by being available to me, by helping me, you will get this. You always want to make sure they're getting something free. And typically, you'll give them a free 10 tips on how to improve communication, something that you can give away for free. When you have this conversation, you want to keep the call very short and stay in interview format. You're asking them questions and answers. Do not problem solve. This is not a coaching call, right? Sam may potentially be a client, but not in this call. In this call, you're interviewing him to learn more about the target client and target market. At the end, ask Sam for referrals who you can ask and provide a complimentary coaching session. This is very, very key. Very, very key. More than likely, Sam knows other individuals that have the same pain point he has. So you want to ask him to now refer you to them. Now, with those individuals, you're not asking for an interview. You're going to give them a complimentary coaching session. And oh, by the way, Sam may say, hey, can I have one also? Which is really a win-win. Now, once you have identified your target market, you now want to penetrate your target market. And we do that by developing and executing an awareness plan. You can also call this a marketing plan. The first activity is what we call proactive marketing, where you attend relevant events. You can facilitate workshops, webinars, and post articles. You're being very proactive. You're going places, you're doing things online, and you're talking to people. We also have casual marketing. Casual marketing is your website, is your online profile, your business cards, your adverts on social media, and potentially your answers on FAQ boards online. You want to be very proactive in marketing with your proactive marketing and your casual marketing. Remember, guys, when you talk with somebody and shake their hand, tell them your name, give them your WeChat, give them your business card, one of the first things they're going to do is do a Google search on you or Bing search on you. So you want to make sure you have a website, online profile. You want to make sure you have information that they can find. It's even better if when they search for you, you have articles, right? You have events that you facilitated, and you have workshops. So you want to make sure that you have proactive marketing and what we call casual marketing. And then finally, it's very key to develop and iterate what I call a client acquisition flow. As you see here, these are my steps in attaining a new client. Now, your steps may be different. Whatever those steps are, you want to make sure that you understand what your client acquisition flow is. And that's very, very important, namely because you want to know which activities are you very good at? Which activities do you need to improve? So let's go through this very briefly. Attending an event. At the event, introduce yourself, shake hands. If you're having a good conversation, invite them to a complimentary coaching session. Immediately schedule that session, and then once that date comes, conduct that complimentary coaching session. And you guys know, of course, once you schedule it, it should be within 2 to 3 days from that initial meeting. Then at the end of the session, if a package was not purchased, you want to reflect on why, and revisit that client maybe 6-8 weeks later to check in and see how they're doing. If they did purchase the package, which is great, which is our goal, you then want to close the deal and obtain the fee. So once they've agreed to purchase the package, at the very same moment, you want to close the deal and obtain the fee. Don't wait 10 hours because minds will change. You also want to schedule your intake session or your first session. So this is my client acquisition flow. This allows me to see where I'm doing good and where I need to improve. So every coach needs to have their client acquisition flow. Okay, we are at the final slide, so let me stop here and ask any questions on any of the information I've shared.
Colin, you have 5 minutes left.
Thank you. Any information, any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
You have a question?
Yeah, marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah, like the last slides you just shared. I think you're I saw you're a very doing person. Like you have everything like so step by step and a lot of do things. I wonder what is the like belief behind that. I don't think just you follow the step and you can succeed, or you do things, you succeed, things like that. How can you push yourself to keep moving on? I'm quite curious.
Right. I think, honestly, right, what motivates me is putting food on my table, feeding my family, right? So as you know, this is right. This is my business, right? This is what brings all of my income. So again, this is a business. So if I don't make sure I'm attracting new clients and making sure the clients are satisfied, I will not get business. I will not make money. So what motivates me to do this is the fact that I have to run a business and I have a very strong desire to succeed because what I'm doing is a personal passion of mine, which you know, right? So it's a mix of fun and hard work, but the motivation, again, is making sure that I can sustain a coaching practice and coaching business for years and years to come because I do not plan to go into another area.
Yeah, thank you. I will stay with you together.
Yeah, we are together.
Yeah.
So Colin, will you share the slides? If not, can I watch the one before this one?
Yeah.
I'll reach out to referral and provide absolute win-win. So this part I missed the part on absolute win-win.
So absolute
Win-win means for
yes.
your
Okay.
friend and their
Right.
referral.
Okay, for the referral. So the first part is practicing how you're going to talk to your friend. Number two is contacting your friends, right? Saying, look, I need your help. Can you refer me to somebody who I can interview to learn more about people in this area who are having this pain point? Once you actually make that connection, right? Once you actually talking to somebody, my example was somebody who is needs help in communication. Once you find that person, you must give them a reason to talk to you. Now, they're doing a favor for their friend, but you really must give them something for free, because if you give them something, they'll also look at you in a certain way as well, right? And quite frankly, because they're giving you a lot of valuable information, you want to make sure you reward that, right? Your friend gave them a referral, give you a referral. You want to make sure you take care of the referral by making sure that because they're giving you information to build your business, they're going to benefit as well. That's a win-win, right? I'm winning by getting information, and they're winning by getting something for free. Does that make sense?
So the person getting free is the referral or your friend?
The referral.
Okay.
The referral.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. If they're going to, the conversation with your friend may take all of 5-10 minutes, but the person you're interviewing, that'll be a longer call. That'll be about 30 minutes. And remember, you probably don't know them, or they don't know you. So due to that, you really want to make sure you really take care of them the first time they meet you. You want to make sure you really take care of them. Okay, make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. And remember, you're also going to be asking that person for their referrals as well. So if you took care of them, they're more likely to refer you because they believe you're going to take care of their friends also. Great. Okay. Any other questions? We are going a little bit long. Any other questions, guys? And if you do, please ask.
Colin, Thank you for your presentation. My question would be, would you mind sharing what kind of events you attend? I know this is going to be different for different coaches. I mean, depending on your niche.
Right.
But I'm curious. I mean, this webinar can also be one of the events. But would you mind sharing other events that you attend for?
Right. Yeah. So this webinar is a perfect example of an event, right? Perfect example of an event. So you know now in WeChat there are groups for, my gosh, everything. And online, there's Meetup, right? So Meetup, there are groups for everything. So if you go into Meetup and type in public speaking, type in marathon training, type in learning language, type in wellness, living well, right? Type in moving to a new city, you'll find different groups. So Sasha, I think it's easy to find events. It's harder to go, right? Because sometimes we make excuses not to go. We're a little bit shy. And sometimes we think, well, I'm going to the event to learn about these people, not because I have this issue, so maybe I'm being a little bit inauthentic. Again, guys, I hate to say it, I don't hate to say it, this is a business. It's called market research, right? You want to find out where your people are that need your help, because as a coach, we have to have the mindset that we are helping people, right? Anybody we talk to, who's a client, will leave better off after talking to us. So let's go find more people who we can help, right? And help more people. Does that make sense, Sasha? Sasha, you there?
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
That makes sense. And another example is Toastmasters. I'm involved in Toastmasters here. I'm involved in so many different running groups, biking groups, training groups, and so things that I'm involved in. But it's very easy to find a lot of groups. And if you need some help, just let me know.
Thank you.
Great. Other questions? Okay. So, and I want you to, guys, know what your client acquisition flow is. It's very important to know the steps you take to get a client, to close the deal. So a quick review, to identify and penetrate your target market, determine and develop your coaching specialty or your niche area, very important. Create your target client persona, understand in detail who your target client is, identify your target market, where you find the majority, a lot of your target clients, and then network and socialize directly to your market. You cannot build a business behind a computer screen. You have to get out, talk to people, hand out business cards, flat backs, you know what I'm saying, have a drink with, and really get out there and meet people. And you need to meet them more than once, right? Meet them more than once, okay? If no more questions, I want to very quickly introduce a new portion of our webinars. We have a coach. This is now our Shanghai Life Coaching Collective member spotlight. We have Coach Ivana Pazik. Ivana became a law of attraction coach, life coach, with her profound yet simple teachings have helped people from Japan to Nigeria and Germany to the US to make their dream lives a reality. And she moved to Shanghai in 2018. Excuse me, I want to do a better job here. Ivana reached out to me about 2 weeks ago and told me about her book, Live Your True Calling, and from a job that's eating you alive to a job you alive to a life. From a job that's eating you alive to a life you love. And the title alone made me think. And I read this book, and I gotta say, this book is very powerful on two sides. On a coach's side, a lot of us had careers before. And a lot of us said, you know what, my career is okay, but I want to find something that I truly love doing. Some of us said, our career is not okay, and we want to find something that we love doing. So this book really showed the pattern that a lot of us coaches have taken. And if you're coaching or doing career coaching, a lot of your clients are right now in a job that's eating them alive. And this book gives you some very, very good tips on how to help your clients go from being in that unhealthy environment to a much more healthy environment and having a life that they love. So I think this book is very great. It's a very short read. It's not too big. You can read it in a week, but you get a lot of good tips here. It's written in story format and follows a fairy tale, so it's very easy to follow along. And I think Coach Ivana this is her second book, and she's done a very good job with this book. If you want to order, you can go to ivanabooks.com or contact me offline, and I'll put you in contact with Coach Ivana. But as coaches in this collective, it would be great if we all can help promote her book and help her really live her dream and get more people to order the book. Okay.
It's very, very helpful book.
Yeah. It's a good book. Yeah, it's a very good read. Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap up here. So how to contact and join the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective. You have the information here for Coach Jody, Coach Elise, and myself. How to contact us on WeChat. For Coach Jody, JODY, 2, WIN. Coach Elise, Jessica LZ _. Coach Colin T, very simple here. We have a meetup group, which is www.meetup.com/Shanghai Life Coaching. But just go to Meetup and type in Life Coaching, you'll find us. And for WeChat, I am a Coach Colin T. Any questions or any other piece of information? I know we're over our 2-hour time period. Anything else before we wrap up the call?
I wonder, Colin, how long you have been doing coaching, like since when? And you were in ABIM or like?
Yes, I started coaching in 2016 in IBM, doing agile coaching and learning how to be a personal coach within IBM as well. So it's been roughly about 3.5 years.
Right. And how about Jody? Jody, you mute yourself.
Yeah. Actually, I learned the growth model in my previous job, and I was trainer for counselor workshop, coaching workshop, but that was more growth model. I don't think I really know coaching until 2015 when I formally hired my coach. She's also a collective coach. And then I would say I really know coaching and do it like a professional third-party coach from this year. And before that, it was just in-house HR company, the internal coach, and more like growth model. So,
yeah, my first experience was with the growth model as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So collective really opened my mind, my eyes.
Finish the book yet, growth model.
Wow, so you have all the books.
Book you're talking about? I didn't finish yet. Yeah.
You have all the books there.
Yeah.
So guys, we went over the time. We're gonna talk offline on how to improve upon our webinars to make sure we stay into the time period. I do want to respect everybody's time by not staying on too much longer. I want to personally, Coach Jody, Coach Elise, I want to thank you guys because you two are perfect examples of what we're trying to accomplish, what we are accomplishing in the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective. We want coaches who are going to be active, right? Sharing, asking questions, making sure other folks are learning from us and that we're learning. We're not just sitting here in awe of anybody. We're challenging people and asking questions and getting better, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And Sasha, we look forward to you to literally start those actions to develop your coaching, right?
That's right. I didn't unmute myself.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So guys, we're gonna close the call here, and I will post this up in the next 2 days. And for Elise and Jody, I'll also cut your sessions and send those to you guys specifically as well.
Thank you.
Great.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and
Bye.
talk soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Colin. Bye.
Bye-bye.